So in the mid-1970s, when you talked about hockey, Bob Kelly was always in the news. Not only because there was one really talented Bob Kelly with the Flyers, there was another one who played the majority of his games in Pittsburgh after being kind of a journeyman after being drafted. Now today we're going to be talking not about the Stanley Cup winner Bob Kelly, but his what he called distant cousin, J. Bob Kelly, the very talented selection from the Port Arthur TVJHL in the 1967 NHL entry draft. Now he was taken second round, 16 overall by the Maple Leafs. Big player, 6'2", 190, left winger, very strong in the power play, very strong in the defense. It took him a few years to get to the NHL, but once he got there, he was considered, an overachiever. Now he's widely regarded as one of the top fighters ever during his playing career. Tenacious, wasn't dirty, but he never backed down for a fight. He set an IHL single-game record since broken with 42 penalty minutes for Port Huron on December 31st, 67. He eventually made it to the NHL and scored his first hat-trick for Pittsburgh on March 24th, 1974 versus Detroit. Now he led Pittsburgh and tied team records, since broken of course, with 5 goals and 8 assists, 8 points in the 75 playoffs. Now he set the Pittsburgh single-season record since broken for penalty minutes by a forward with 149 in 76, but he tied for Pittsburgh's team lead with 4 game-winning goals in 75-76. Now bear with me for a second, ladies and gentlemen. He made a lot of movements in his career, so bear with me. He only got his NHL debut on October 10th, 73 against St. Louis at California. Now, November 68, his rights were sold by Port Huron to Columbus. July 69, he was selected by Des Moines, IHL, from Columbus in interleague draft. October 69, he was signed with Providence AHL as an unrestricted free agent. October 71, he was claimed by Boston AHL off waivers from Providence and assigned to Oklahoma City of the CHL. October 71, signed with Des Moines of the IHL after being released by Oklahoma City. Now, October 72, his AHL rights were sold by Providence, New York Rangers organization, to Rochester for $7,500. June of 73, he was traded by Rochester AHL to the Rangers in exchange for Bill Nibs and $20,000. September 8, 73, he was traded by the Rangers of St. Louis for Norm Dennis and Don Borgeson. January 17, 74, he was traded by St. Louis with Steve Durbano and Abe DeMarco Jr. What a trade. To Pittsburgh for Brian Watson, Greg Polis, and a 74 second-round draft pick, ended up being the great Bob Hess. He eventually signed with Chicago as an unrestricted free agent in August of 77, and he was eventually selected by Edmonton from the 1979 NHL expansion draft, but never played with the team. Now, he was known as Battleship. A lot of people know that. But he played everywhere: Port Huron, Columbus, Providence, Des Moines, Omaha, Oklahoma City, Rochester, New Brunswick Hawks, of course, Cincinnati, and Houston of the CHL. Now, he remained in Illinois after his retirement and coached high school hockey at New Trier High School in Winnetonka during the 1980s, winning a state championship in 1983. He was Huntington's head coach of the ECHL in 93 and 94. Now, injuries really hampered his production because he missed the final 2 weeks of 74 with a pinched nerve in his neck, and that was off-season surgery to remove it. Now, he missed part of 76 with a separated shoulder and a very severe back injury in 78, cut his games that year. Now, he was selected by the Sharks in the 72 WHA draft, first ever, in February 72. But the reason why he signed with Port Huron, even though they drafted him in the second round, Toronto did not offer him a contract. Big loss there. Now, he finished second AHL with 206 penalty minutes of Rochester, 72-73. And again, a big hat trick again. He was known for that. Pittsburgh on December 1775 at California. Now, rough statistics don't tell the whole story. He called himself J. Bob Kelly because he wanted to distinguish himself from Bob Kelly. Pretty well similar fighters. But Fort William and they make very strong players. But you look at the numbers too. What really broke out for him, he had played in the IHL, AHL, and the CHL for a while. But a big breakthrough came with the Des Moines Oak Leaves of the IHL, where he had 43 points in 55 games, 72. Rochester in 73 put up big numbers, beautiful numbers, 62 points in 70 games. His first season in the NHL, split time with St. Louis and Pittsburgh. He was among the consideration for Rookie of the Year, 16 goals, 18 assists for 34 points. But in Pittsburgh, that's where he shone with Pronovo and Pierre LaRouche and everybody else. 51 points in 69 games and 75. 27 counters. 55 points in 77 games and 76. 25 goals. Pittsburgh, 31 points, 74 games, 77. Moved on to Chicago. Eventually found himself in the minors yet again. Played 7 games with the Hawks in 79. And became a quick favorite in the Brunswick players and fans. But last season, 4 games combined with Houston and Cincinnati of the CHL. But every place he played, ladies and gentlemen, he made an impact, no pun intended. Battleship could score, he could fight. He's a playmaker, he could do anything, and the only regret, I hope you take this the right way, he should have been traded to a contender. I know that Edmonton was looking at him 1980, but it didn't pan out. But my God, I look at that 55 points in 76, where Pittsburgh wasn't a Stanley Cup contender, but they were a pretty well top 8 team. Only, I think, Toronto, a few other teams were knocking them off in the playoffs. Final NHL totals: 425 games, 196 points, 87 goals, 687 minutes in penalties. And in the playoffs, 23 games, 6 goals, again 5 in that nice playoff run in 75, 3 assists for 9 points, and 40 minutes in penalties. So again, one of the most underrated players of the 1970s, and the reason why people don't talk about him, because basically at the time, I know it sounds weird, Pittsburgh wasn't a big media center. Neither was St. Louis. But Battleship, again, if you look at these old hockey cards, it's quite interesting because you see him always near the net. I think the people taking the photo were doing that for a reason. So that's the story of Battleship, J. Bob Kelly. If you like what we're doing here, give us a like, comment, subscribe. And don't forget, the 1970s were full of battleships. Literally and figuratively. Players could score, they could hit, do assists, and were fan favorites. And J. Bob Kelly was one of those, and we salute him on a great career. Thanks for listening. Bye.